He couldn't demand a retest, because deep down, he knew what he'd seen in the arena was real. Knew that somehow, impossibly, I had surpassed him. And that terrified him. "This isn't over," he spat. "I don't know how you did it, but I'll expose you. I'll prove you're a fraud." Looking forward to it, he turned and stormed to a seat on the opposite side of the room. Marcus let out a low whistle. "Damn, your family reunions must be fun. You have no idea." The homeroom teacher arrived. Professor Aldrich, tall, thin, with a closely trimmed beard and eyes that seemed to see through everything. He was a renowned battle mage, according to the whispers. Retired from active service after losing his left arm in the Demon War, his remaining hand crackled with ambient lightning as he surveyed the class. "Class 1A, he said. "The elite, the talented, the privileged." His tone made clear he didn't consider any of those things compliments. "You're here because you scored higher than your peers. But scores mean nothing in a real fight. I've seen geniuses die to goblins because they couldn't handle pressure. I've seen average mages become legends through sheer determination." He tapped the desk with his finger, and a small lightning bolt scorched the surface. "In this class, you will learn 3 things: combat, survival, humility. If you can't master all 3, you won't graduate." He began calling names. "Ashford, Darren. Present. Brennan, Marcus. Here, Kale. Present." Professor Aldrich paused. His eyes locked onto mine. "The atomization boy. I watched your entrance exam." The room went quiet. "That technique you used, it wasn't any registered spell, wasn't any known magical formula. Care to explain how a self-taught first year created something that 3 archmages spent the last night trying to analyze?" Every eye in the room was on me. "I have high mana capacity," I said. "Sometimes raw power compensates for lack of technique. 912 isn't high enough to brute force atomic disintegration." Damn, he was sharp. Perhaps the measurement crystal was conservative. His eyes narrowed. "Perhaps we'll be keeping an eye on you, Kale. A close eye." He moved on to the next name. I kept my expression neutral, but internally, I was already planning. Professor Aldrich suspected something. He wouldn't be the last. I needed to be more careful about displaying power. Needed to establish a believable ceiling. 912 mana. That was my official number. Everything I did needed to fit within that limit, at least publicly. The first week of classes passed quickly. Morning lectures on magical theory. Afternoon practical sessions. Evening self-study. I excelled at theory, obviously. 19 years of reading had given me a knowledge base that surprised even the professors. Practicals were trickier. I had to deliberately limit myself. Cast spells at 900 mana power levels instead of infinity. Make mistakes that a talented but inexperienced student would make. It was exhausting, not physically. Physically, I could have run laps around the continent without breaking a sweat. Mentally exhausting, constantly calculating how much power to reveal, constantly monitoring reactions, constantly pretending to be something I wasn't. But it worked. By the end of the first week, I'd established a reputation as a talented first year with exceptional raw power but inconsistent control. Strong enough to respect, not strong enough to fear. Perfect. Friday evening. I was in the library, researching advanced mana theory, when someone sat across from me, Elara Varen, the Ice Duke's daughter. She placed a book on the table between us. "You're hiding something." No greeting, no small talk, just straight to accusations. I didn't look up from my book. "Everyone hides something. Your mana signature fluctuates. I've been watching you all week. Sometimes it reads at 900, sometimes it spikes much higher. You're suppressing your true power." Clever girl. "And if I am? Then I want to know why." She leaned forward. "You're not just talented, Kale. You're something else, something that shouldn't exist. I want to understand what. Maybe I'm just shy." "You atomized a training dummy to make a point to your brother. That's not shy, that's calculated." I finally looked up. Her ice blue eyes studied me without warmth. This wasn't curiosity. It was analysis. She was trying to determine if I was a threat. "What do you want, Elara?" "An alliance." "Not what I expected." "Explain." "The Academy is divided into factions. Noble families, merchant coalitions, regional alliances. Everyone is jockeying for position. Power attracts followers. Mystery attracts enemies. And you think I need protection? I think you need someone who understands politics." She tilted her head. "And I think I need someone whose power ceiling I can't see. We'd complement each other." "What's in it for you?" "Access to whatever you're hiding. When you eventually reveal it, I want to be on your side rather than against you." Smart, cold, calculating. I respected that. "I'll consider it." "Don't take too long." She stood. "The Academy ranking tournament is in 2 weeks. Every first year participates. It will be much harder to hide your true abilities in direct combat." She walked away. I watched her go. Ranking tournament. I'd read about it in the Academy handbook. Single elimination brackets. Students fight until one submits or is incapacitated. Final rankings determine class placement, resource allocation, and social status. In other words, a public stage where hiding would be nearly impossible. I needed a new strategy. The next morning, I woke to a notification. System notice, daily blessing cycle complete. Current mana, infinity, overflow conversion applied. New stats, strength 1203, speed 1187, endurance 344. New ability unlocked, absolute territory. Absolute territory? I focused on the new ability and information flooded my mind. Absolute territory creates a zone where the users will supersede all other magical effects. Within this zone, enemy spells are nullified, physical laws can be altered, and reality responds directly to users' intention. Range scales with mana. Duration unlimited. Cost mana negligible for current user. I stay